Hello, I should be online now. Uh, if I am not, please let me know. Um, okay, so let's start right here. VS Code is already open in the other window, and yeah, I did yesterday already uh, initialize the program and stumbled around a bit. I have left in some code of the pre-generated stuff. I have randomly copied stuff from the internet just to get something working, as Zig isn't quite as high level as I would have expected it to be. It's much closer to C than it is to C++, at least from what I have experienced so far. Um, so I have imported some things like the standard library and derived some other constants from it for easier access. Um, I initialize the standard out for me. I read my input into a file descriptor for now, initialize a reader for it such that I can stream from it, and then I create my buffer I want to read into. I initialize the actual input string, which should eventually cover the fully read file. Um, I then read the file line by line, append individual characters into my uh, array list, which is not quite efficient, but I just do it that way to get something working, and this is the best I could come up with all the knowledge, so none, I currently have about Zig. Um, then I try to get the result from my part1 function, um, where input is the array list and items is an actual slice that represents an equivalent, that is equivalent by the content. I print my result to standard out and flush just to be on the safe side. My actual implementation keeps an accumulator variable, which I call sum here, as the question is in fact about the sum of all the different things to find. Then I create an iterator over the lines. I walk over the lines and try to get the calibration value first, where in each line I iterate over the chars from the left. If it is a digit, I store it as my calibration values, a higher significant digit. Then I go again from the reverse and store a found digit as a lower significant digit. Um, and at the end, I simply sum up and return the sum. Here, two helper functions which I use to determine, which I use to convert digits to actual integers, as well as a helper function which helps me to determine whether a char is actually a digit or alphabetic. Um, so while I walked you through this, I think I already found my mistake here. So after we have created this, we need to actually break out, continue. We need to break the loop, and I hope that it is possible in Zig as it would be in C or Go to break out of a loop. This result is slightly different from what I had before, but let's see. So my answer to this will be, of course, I have to remove the dot. If this is only close to what it worked before, then I now have to wait for about a minute because there is some flooding gateway that tries to avoid request spam. So let's check again. I was too quick. I have another 30 seconds to wait. I think I should copy that without the dot, which I did, and I remove the dot from the output here, just to be on the safe side in the future. 10 seconds. I do not understand how this should save for spam. That's not the right answer. My answer is too low. So the next one has to be above 5070. This is just a hint and doesn't help me really. So let's just check again. Maybe here has been yeah, there has been some debug originally. Let's check in the generated hello world I have still there from checking the setup. So let's take this line and let's put it here and just like this, and we want to see what is our actual line. And we want to see at the end as well what our calibration value is. So let's run it again, and that is indeed not good. Why is it like, oh yeah, I see. I have forgotten to add the calibration value here. So let's run again. We get a much higher value of about 105,000, and let's copy that, return to day one, past submit, and that's not right. Again. Oh, we have calibration values with 3 digits? What? Why? We do reset the calibration value in between. So that happens correctly. Let's check what the individual digits are. So left digit and we want this to see as the let's remove it here for now, and here we put the char as well as a toInt char. Then we copy and put it here, say right digit, and we have only line I here and line I. It's not the best code for sure, I'm aware, but okay, left digit 52, right digit 51. No, this is not how it should look like. Oh, yeah. How do I tell you to... Does this work? Yeah. Okay. So why is it like this? Oh, here is a toInt missing. And now it looks about correct. Let's check again. And yay! Nee, I was... What? I have 2 minutes to wait? Eh. And I do not even know what to do during that time. Yeah. Let's just try this for a second. So try standard out, print, and I do it this short, easy, dirty way. We need some listy thing type here, and we need to call part 1 on it. And of course it's a syntax error, so I have to put all those nice new lines manually. And of course I'm missing the semicolon as usual. Back to the terminal, rerun, and we get a new error here. So this is not as easy and quick and dirty as I have thought it would be. I cannot just make a string. Why should I? It would be far too easy if it was possible this way. As I said, it's much closer to C than it is to C++. Have I the feeling of, and for my taste, too low level. Yeah. So let's continue to part 2. Yeah, your calculation isn't quite right. Who had expected that? It looks like some of those digits are actually spelled out with letters 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and also count as valid digits. Now that you have this new information, you need to find the real first and last digit on each line. For example, 219 the calibration value are 29. Oh, no, no, I, no, no, this is, do I need an actual parsing library now? Implement a state machine? Even if it's just a simple one? This, no. And in the reverse case, I even need to, no. Um, to be honest, uh, this is where it ends for me. I would be totally fine. Um, Implementing this is absolutely not a problem, probably. Um, Depending on the language I use, maybe even uh, regular expressions would be fine and performant enough. But uh, I am here at a point in Zig where I say reading me into the details about how to use what I need here would probably take much longer than the remainder of this stream for today. And that, that's not fun for you, that's not fun for me. Uh, Therefore, I will end the Zig experiment right now, right here, and reboot this series next week on Monday with another language, which I will know better, uh, but is not necessarily the language I earn my money with. So um, from a very first idea, it would probably fall into either Rust or Erlang. Maybe some, maybe also Alpaca as the ML Beam language or LFE, but uh, just to I know Lisp, I know Erlang and LFE. So Lisp flavored Erlang is just um, a shallow wrapper around Erlang. It's basically Lisp syntax, so you got a lot of parentheses, and you also have some of the nice Lispy macro magic, but at the end you are always interfacing the Erlang standard library directly. There is no real there is nothing, there is no standard library in LFE itself that would map one to the other. It's really just a shallow syntax wrapper. If there wasn't the macro magic, I'd say it's a transpiler, but that's nitpicking. Um, I like the idea, but not sure if I will do it. Um, yeah, it's for me. It, but let me wrap this up as Zig is interesting. Um, Perhaps it might be worth learning it, but not this way. Um, we have some kind of memory management, which I have not looked much into yet because of the format of the series. There was simply no time. I wanted to get my exercise done rather than reading about unrelated parts. When it came to memory management for the array list, I just picked whatever allocator worked. Uh, you see here in my code, I have still the variable name I use is test allocator because that's how I copied it outside of some documentation. And trial and error made me test allocator is the standard heap page allocator, whatever that means. Um, so I'm pretty sure there is something allocated, and as a result of the defer input dinit, there will probably something deallocated eventually. But that's the part where I have no clue about. Um, so it might be worth looking into it with more time and some actual mini project rather than this exercises where one just copies small code pieces together that somehow work. And uh, yeah, the other thing is we seem to have relatively strict types compared to C, which basically only has integers. And yeah, we even have some concept of iterators, which I haven't yet understood because, again, there was no time to actually read into the concept. I found some example that used a while with a function call which returned something which could be an iterator, and I was happy enough that a slice is just accepted as an iterator and iterates over its elements. But yeah, that in let's compare this to C, where I had to manually get how many items do I have in this array. Uh, C doesn't even have slices. That's another thing. So yes, I will look into Zig again um, with more time and some mini CLI, which I want to use perhaps even, and I will be prepared better. And for sure, I will not again try to just uh, do this kind of ad hoc learning and show it to the public. As made clear from the beginning, this is an experiment on many in many directions. I have never really streamed before. I have never touched Zig before, and I even avoided to look at Zig in the last week since I made the decision um, to really try to learn during the stream. But um, as said, the format doesn't suit learning. Um, for a real learning stream, I would need uh, longer sessions, let's say about 2 hours, and it would be really a lot more reading and a lot less implementing. It would be drafting out what do I want to do today, and then reading documentations about standard library, about syntax, about concepts to have a function of, don't know, 10 to 15 lines doing very simple things. But this all after 2 hours. So yeah, I have, simply put, I have to revisit and rethink how I tackle all of these and how it suits into schedule, work, uh, personal, family, and all the other things. Um, yeah, I will definitely reboot with another language on Monday. I will restart on day one with part one. Um, but I think that it will be much quicker implemented then, as I will know the language to some level. But as also said already, I will not use Elixir, which I currently earn my money with, because I explicitly want the advent of code as some form of distraction, doing something else, not staring at the same language constructs all the time. So yeah, sorry that this wasn't really much of an enjoyment for you, but yeah, it's it didn't work out well, and we will continue experimenting, or I will, and yeah. So bye bye until next week.